ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the first episode of Let's Roleplay Fallout New Vegas. This is the first of four planned playthroughs that we're going to roleplay through. The first being chosen between the Independent, Vegas, and NCR, New California Republic endings. Since it was between those two, I figured that I would start with the NCR because I really have good plans for the Independent run. And that's kind of how I would like to end the four playthroughs. So, we're going to be playing on normal, non-hardcore mode. This is also an unmodded console version of Fallout New Vegas with all of the DLC installed. However, it will be unmodded. This is not a good or bad karma playthrough. We're going to see how we deal. The character that we're going to be playing, his name is Sam, and he is a citizen of the New California Republic. His dad was supposed to be going through Ranger School as a younger man, and he flunked out and was actually crippled for the rest of his life. So, Sam has grown up patriotic, but also very wary of what the soldier's life can bring. But after taking a job as a courier, it seems like that choice has been taken. Without further ado, let's get started.
War never changes. When atomic fire consumed the Earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build new societies, establishing villages, forming tribes. As decades passed, what had been the American Southwest united beneath the flag of the New California Republic, dedicated to old world values of democracy and the rule of law. As the Republic grew, so did its needs. Scouts spread east, seeking territory and wealth in the dry and merciless expanse of the Mojave Desert. They returned with tales of a city untouched by the warheads that had scorched the rest of the world, and a great wall spanning the Colorado River. The NCR mobilized its army and sent it east to occupy Hoover Dam and restore it to working condition. But across the Colorado, another society had arisen under a different flag. A vast army of slaves forged from the conquest of 86 tribes, Caesar's Legion. 4 years have passed since the Republic held the dam just barely, against the Legion's onslaught. The Legion did not retreat. Across the river, it gathers strength. Campfires burn, training drums beat. Through it all, the New Vegas Strip has stayed open for business, under the control of its mysterious overseer, Mr. House, and his army of rehabilitated tribals and police robots. You are a courier, hired by the Mojave Express to deliver a package to the New Vegas Strip. What seemed like a simple delivery job has taken a turn for the worse.
You got what you were after, so pay up.
You're crying in the rain, Pally.
Guess who's waking up over here?
Time to cash out.
Will you get it over with?
Maybe cons kill people without looking them in the face. But I ain't a fink. Dig? You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene. From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Oh. Oh, my head.
You're awake. How about that?
What?
Whoa, easy there, easy. You've been out cold a couple of days now. Why don't you just relax a second? Get your bearings. Let's see what the damage is. How about your name? Can you tell me your name? I can't say it's what I'd have picked for you, but if that's your name, that's your name. I'm Doc Mitchell. Welcome to Good Springs. Now, I hope you don't mind, but I had to go rooting around there in your noggin to pull all the bits of lead out. I take pride in my needlework, but you'd better tell me if I left anything out of place. How'd I do?
Well, let's see. Sam, he grew up on a farm, so he's not scrawny, but he's also not, I don't know, conventionally attractive. Also not so fresh-faced. He's probably seen a couple years. He's not old. I don't know. He's probably, yeah, about there. Probably green eyes. Yeah, let's get that beard off of him. Clean up his hairstyle. Now what? Let's see. jaw. Well-defined jawline. Okay. That's pretty good for Sam. What hair color will he have? Henry was brown-headed. Platinum blonde from out in California. Smooth wave, maybe. Buzz cut, probably, if he's traveling the road. Backwater, roughneck. Let's see. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of customizing our character after the fact, so we're going to be stuck with this face for a while. Hair like honey. Maybe that is how we'll do it. Clean cut young man. Got shot in the head. I don't know. I like that a lot. Alright, Sam. Here you are.
Well, I got most of it right anyway.
Stuff that mattered.
Stuff that mattered. Okay. No sense keeping you in bed anymore. Let's see if we can get you on your feet. Good. Why don't you walk down to the end of the room, over by that bigger tester machine there. Take it slow now. It ain't a race.
Oh, okay. Here we are. Sam.
Ooh, looking good so far. Go ahead and give the vigor tester a try. We'll learn right quick if you got back all your faculties.
Okay. You sure you don't need me to look at the eye tests first so you know I can read? Okay. Vigor tester. Trustworthy. Rate your strength. You see, yeah, Sam is pretty strong, barrel-chested. You know, he's got that farm strength. Probably decently average with perception. He is tough as nails. Though, I will say, he is not the best squad leader. Yeah. He is kind of a knucklehead. He doesn't get points for trying, really. Though he's more than a cretin, he's a knucklehead. Now, as far as agility goes, he's a great shot. But he's not outstanding because he's probably going to be a rifleman more often than not. So we'll say he's got cat-like, maybe even knife thrower instincts. Now Sam is not lucky at all. And I guess you could say that he's had to be a little bit extra perceptive. And yeah. So he's not bad talking to people. He's definitely not the smartest in the room. And he's not horribly unlucky, but it's pretty bad. So that's going to be... That's... Yeah. 3 7s in strength, perception, and endurance. Average of 5 in charisma. Underperforming in intelligence. Being alright with agility and 3 luck. I think that that's a decent example of how Sam is. He's rough and tough, kind of lacking in common sense, and bad things happen to him.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard score there, but after what you've been through, I'd say that's great news. Well, we know your vitals are good, but that don't mean them bullets didn't leave you nuttered and the bighorn are dropping. What do you say you take a seat in my couch and we go through a couple of questions? See if your dogs are still barking.
Well, I sure hope they are.
All right. I'm gonna say a word. I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Dog.
Dog, well, feed.
House.
That's gotta be shelter. I'd say sleep.
Bandit.
Swiss cheese.
Light.
Flash.
Mother.
Caretaker. Sam didn't know his mother. She died due to probably wasteland-related issues as the NCR became more and more of a civilized nation-state. Though he was raised with the traditionalist values of the NCR. So I'd say that he would respect mothers, especially.
Okay. Now I got a few statements. I want you to tell me how much they sound like something you'd say. First one. Conflict just ain't in my nature.
No opinion. Sam doesn't go looking for fights, but he's not going to stand down. At least he doesn't go looking for fights right now.
I ain't given to relying on others for support.
I'd generally say that we'd agree. One-on-one companions are fine, but a team, well, No opinion.
I'm always fixing to be the center of attention.
Now that would be a disagree. He's not one for attention.
I'm slow to embrace new ideas.
Agree.
I charge in to deal with my problems head on.
We would strongly agree with
Almost
this.
done here. What do you say you have a look at this? Tell me what you see.
Well, I happen to agree. I always see a broken chain. A chemical reaction, possibly. Shadow in a door frame, and oozing wound, definitely not. Angry two-headed ant, I understand. But Sam probably sees an angry two-headed ant.
Okay. How about this one?
It's a priceless work of art. A ship at sea, kind of. It's some piece of space-age technology, or we're too embarrassed to say what it looks like. That could be art.
Last one.
This is absolutely two bears high-fiving. But that's not an that's not an answer. So I see a bearded man.
Well, that's all she wrote. I don't have nothing to compare it to, so maybe you'd better just have a look at the results. See if it all seems right to you.
Okay. Not nearly. Okay, but I will say guns, absolutely. Repair, maybe not. We'll get into repair, but it's not our biggest one. Explosives, and I would probably say melee weapons.
Before I turn you loose, I need one more thing from you. I got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history. Just a formality. Ain't like I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot in the head.
Of course. Now, since we're not a luck build, built to destroy is not going to help us. We're not very claustrophobic, and we're not an early bird. Fast shot and full rise doesn't really figure. Good natured we could do, but we are definitely a combatant. Since we're not a luck build, we could do heavy handed, where we do more damage but less critical hit damage. When your health below, no. Logan's loophole, no. You know, skilled and heavy handed. I think that's going to be us. Because we are skilled, but not experienced. Dad would have taught us what they taught him during his time becoming a ranger. But we always lived on the farm, and it wasn't until recently that we thought that we would take a courier job and see what's going on the front. And that got us shot in the head. So we're probably a little bit nervous.
All right, I guess that about does it. Come with me, I'll see you out.
All right. Kind of dark in here, Doc.
Here, these are yours. It was all you had on you when you was brought in. I hope you don't mind, but I gave the note a look. I thought it might help me find a next of kin. But it was just something about a platinum chip. Well, if you're heading back out there, you ought to have this. They call it a Pip-Boy. I grew up in one of them vaults they made before the war. We all got one. Ain't much use to me now, but you might want such a thing after what you've been through. I know what it's like having something taken from you. And put this on too, so the locals don't pick on you for lacking modesty. Never was much my style anyway.
Well, thanks for patching me up, Doc.
Don't mention it. It's what I'm here for. You should talk to Sunny Smiles before you leave town. She can help you learn to fend for yourself in the desert. She'll likely be at the saloon. I reckon some of the other folks at the saloon might be able to help you out too. And the metal fella, Victor, who pulled you out of your grave. Anyway, you ever get hurt out there, you come right back. I'll fix you up. But try not to get killed anymore.
Absolutely. Fallout New Vegas allows you to play in a new hardcore mode that greatly increases the challenge of the game. In this mode, Stimpaks heal over time and cannot mend broken limbs. Radaway removes radiation over time, ammunition has weight, and dehydration is a constant concern. This mode is only recommended for advanced players. You may turn hardcore mode on or off at any time in the gameplay menu, but if you activate hardcore mode now and maintain it through the end of the main storyline, you will receive a special reward. No. Recommended. I know who I am. Thank you. And with the 21 on our back, we are ready to go. Ain't that a kick in the head? Now we have been given equipment based on our skills and DLC that I own. However, we're only going to keep the 9mm pistol, the binoculars, and the straight razor. We're going to sell everything else. And I'm going to take a Sunset Spirilla for the road. But without further ado, let's go. There it is. All the DLC loading in. Wow. Welcome to the Mojave. Here's that Victor guy they were talking about. Hey, ooh, he's a robot. Okay. Victor.
Howdy, partner. Might I say you're looking fit as a fiddle?
A giant television head. Okay. I've never seen a robot like you before.
I'm a Securitron. Robco Security Model 2060B. If you ever see any of my brothers, tell them Victor says howdy.
Okay. How'd you happen to find me?
I was out for a stroll that night when I heard the commotion up the old bone orchard. Saw what looked like a bunch of bad eggs, so I laid low. Once they'd run off, I dug you up to see if you were still kicking. Turns out you were, so I hauled you off to the dock right quick.
Do you know who those men who were that attacked me?
That I'm familiar with the rascals. Some of the fine folks in town might be able to help you out with that.
Well, I've ended up in Good Springs. What is a Securitron doing all the way out here? You look more substantial than this town.
I moseyed into town, 10, 15 years ago. Before that, I can't quite seem to recall. Odd. Anyway, it's a right peaceful town, and I reckon it's as fine a place to settle as any.
Really? Okay. I don't know how I feel about robots, But Paul would say that I'm lacking in manners, but can you be rude to a robot? Well, Victor, if I'm going to call you Victor, I might as well remember my manners. Thanks for digging me out of that grave.
Don't mention it. I'm always ready to lend a helping hand to a stranger in need.
That's mighty fine of you. Goodbye,
Happy
Victor.
trails.
Happy trails. He even rolls with a skip in his wheel. Huh. Interesting. The Good Springs General Store and the Prospector Saloon. The Mojave Express drop box. Welcome to the Mojave Express. Mojave Express drop boxes like this one can be used to deliver items to any Mojave Express drop box that you discovered. Once you find a Mojave Express drop box, just activate it and you will be able to use that location to send and receive items. Huh. I guess they're already going to put me out of a job. Oh, look at that. I'm going to turn that right off. Well, hey, how you doing?
You must be the one Doc Mitchell was patching up. The way I heard it, I didn't think you'd be walking out of that office. I've got plenty of supplies for sale. Even got some weapon mods and special ammo. Well worth the caps if you ask me. If you're hurting for caps, I've also got boxes of surplus ammo in the miscellaneous section. They're not great, but you get what you pay for.
Well, options are better than an empty gun. Tell me about your weapon mods and your special ammo.
Weapon mods are things like silencers, scopes, bigger magazines. Special ammo includes things like armor-piercing bullets, which don't hurt the target as much, but let you punch through armor easier. There's also hollow point bullets, which have the opposite effect. You can kill unarmored targets easier, but they don't do shit against armor.
Okay, well, what's making the surplus ammo inferior?
It's all about quantity over quality. Trouble is, you'll be cleaning and fixing your gun a lot more than usual when you use those kind of bullets.
Gotcha. Well, before I go looking at anything, do you know anything about the people who attacked me?
The leader was a New Vegas type. Typical city boy. He had a bunch of Great Khans with him, probably hired guns. The Great Khans normally stay in their own territory way up northwest, on account of them being enemies with the NCR.
Yeah, the Khans go way back with the Republic. Probably all the way since Shady Sands. Have you ever been to New Vegas?
Twice. Both times I drank a lot of liquor and lost most of my caps at the card tables. In that order, now that I think about it. If you ever get to New Vegas, be sure to visit Gomorrah. It's the best casino in the city. You won't regret it. Word of advice, behave. Between the NCR military police and Mr. House's robots, you don't want to be causing trouble on the strip.
Gotcha. Mr. House, his Securitrons like Victor. What can you tell me about Mr. House?
I'm afraid I don't know much myself. Mr. House has got his own casino, Lucky 38, but nobody goes in or out except his robots. The other casinos follow Mr. House's rules, so I guess that makes him the leader of New Vegas. As far as I know, nobody's ever laid eyes on the guy. I think that robot who pulled you out of the dirt belongs to Mr. House. If Mr. House is looking after you, it's got to be a good thing, right?
Maybe. But what does he want? I'm probably going to have to give that letter a look. Anything you can tell me about the Great Khans? What are they doing this far east?
They're tough sons of bitches. Mean, but not crazy. They'll leave you alone unless you got something they want. The Great Khans deal in illegal chems. There's a good chance that most chems you come across were made by Great Khans.
Really? Well, Chet, show me what you've got for sale. Thanks. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the broad machete, the mercenaries grenade rifle, the caravan shotgun, the throwing spears, and unfortunately the weathered 10mm pistol. I didn't have them. I just didn't have them when I came in. Unfortunately, the Venom I didn't have, but I did have some caps. Now, we never get rid of the Vault 13 canteen. Unfortunately, the Vault 13 jumpsuit, all that armor, not going to help us. But what that can do is get us some parts for our 9mm. A shovel for shenanigans. Purified water. Wow, stim packs are expensive. Okay, ammo box. 38 special. Why not? Ammo box surplus 556. Sure. Not much of an energy weapons fella. Box of casings. Sure. Pistol powder. You never know when you might need some. Now we can get into the ammo. 223-556 is a great round to have. We have no use for 22 long rifle, though we may end up using some revolvers in a pinch. And we'll maybe pick up some of these bobby pins. You know, just some, maybe a couple sticks of dynamite. Some food. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Another satisfied customer.
Thank you, Jet.
Take it
Bye.
easy now.
You too. Nice little place you got here. About 9 in the morning. Alright. Hands are shaky. Alright. What's this? Reloading bench. Yes. Now, this might not be really our thing, but when it is, we'll be doing good. Okay. From here, we can convert ammos into different types. Like, for example, if we wanted a large pistol caliber, like the 44 Magnum, we could swap 10mm round, lead, and primer and powder for the 44 Magnum round, as long as we have the casing. So, we'll have to deal with that when it comes up. Prospector Saloon. Keep on going, Tumbleweed. Alright. Hey there, old timer.
Howdy.
What can Easy Pete do for you?
Why are you called Easy Pete?
Was a prospector until I decided to settle here to get away from the NCR. Now we'll just take it easy and help out with the Brahmin and Bighorners.
Huh. Well, now what's wrong with the NCR?
Don't get me wrong. The NCR's got a lot of decent folk in it. It's just that they make you part of them whether you like it or not. Towns like Goodsprings and Prim don't stay independent for long. Not if you've got something the NCR wants. Still, the NCR keeps the Legion away.
The Legion. Yeah, we heard back home that was the big enemy to be defeated out here. What can you tell me about the Legion?
They're slavers, led by a guy named Caesar, or Caesar. Not sure how you're supposed to say it. A couple of years ago, they tried to take over Hoover Dam, but the NCR beat them back. The NCR didn't or couldn't finish the job, though. The Legion's got its strength back and is getting ready for another round at the dam. My money's still on the NCR winning, but you never know. We've been hearing stories about legionaries on the Nevada side of the river, so keep a gun handy. You don't want to get caught by them.
No. And all this went down over the Hoover Dam? What's so important about it?
The dam powers a lot of New Vegas, and then there's all that clean water lying in Lake Mead, too. Anybody who owns the dam owns the territory.
Well, back to you. You said that you were a prospector. Now, that's almost unheard of. You dig for gold and silver? Aren't there more important things?
Nah. Means I poke through old buildings looking for working tech and such. Some folks just call it salvaging, but never liked the term. Way I see it, salvage means it's broken, near worthless. Me, I look for the good stuff. Guns, chems, spare parts. Good money in it.
Okay. Ever find anything good while prospecting?
Had a pretty good claim once, way out east by the river, but got run off by raiders. Eventually got too old to keep going out.
Do you know anything about the people who attacked
The one
me?
in the fancy suit seemed to be calling the shots. That's as much as I know. Other folks in town might know more. Word of advice, though, if you ever catch up with him, watch out. The man's got cold eyes like a snake. Can't be trusted, I'd say.
Good point. Do you know anything about Victor?
Harmless, no matter what Trudy says. She thinks it's hiding something, but I think it's just a broken down relic with no place to be.
Well, what do you use the Bighorners for?
Meat and hide, mostly. Can't put a pack on them. You just lay down until you take it off. Can find a bunch of wild ones high up in the hills, but gotta be careful around them. They can put up a decent fight if cornered.
All right. Thanks for the advice, Easy Pete.
Keep your gun handy if you go poking around some of the abandoned places around here, like the schoolhouse. Critters move in there sometimes.
Schoolhouse. Oh. Yeah. This is a pretty little... It's a nice little town. Oh. That must be the bone orchard Victor was talking about. I wish these still ran. That'd make everything a lot easier. Okay, let's just take a look here. We're going to talk to Sunny Smiles in the saloon to get reacquainted with the wasteland. It's December 2281. Oh, wow. They went that away. Inquire about your delivery assignment with the administrator of the Mojave Express and Prim, and find the men who tried to kill you. Wow. Yeah. Instructions. Deliver the package at the north entrance to the Vegas Strip by the way of Freeside. An agent of the recipient will meet you at the checkpoint, take possession of the package, and pay for the delivery. Bring the payment to Johnson Nash at the Mojave Express Agency in Prim. Bonus on completion, 250 caps. Manifest. This package contains 1 oversized poker chip composed of platinum. Contract penalties. You are an authorized agent of the Mojave Express package until the delivery is complete and payment has been processed. Contractually obligated to complete this transaction and materially responsible for any malfeasance or loss. Failure to deliver to the proper recipient may result in forfeiture of your advance and bonus, criminal charges, and or pursuit by mercenary reclamation teams. The Mojave Express is not responsible for any injury or loss of life you experience as a result of claim of said reclamation efforts. I got shot in the head just for carrying the thing. But if I don't turn up with it, eventually, Mr. House is going to send people looking for me. Oh, no.
Cheyenne, stay. Don't worry. She won't bite unless I tell her to.
Well, hello. Doc Mitchell said you could teach me how to survive in the desert. But, one second. Yeah, sorry about that, Sonny.
Sticking around Good Springs for a while longer?
You know, I am. I did have some questions, though. First and foremost, even if you can't help me out with the first thing, I do need to get to Prim. Can you see just a route?
Sure can. Take the road southeast out of town till it hits the freeway. Prim is the town with the roller coaster straight south. Can't miss it. NCR patrols do a good job of keeping the highway clear, but I'd keep your gun where you can reach it easily. You never know who you'll run into. Off the road, you'll probably start running into hostile wildlife. My advice would be to stick to the highway when you can.
Stick to the highway when we can. Okay. Well, yeah, I am a little short on caps. I don't suppose there's any work available to do
Not
around
in
here.
Good Springs, no. But if you're up for a little scavenging, there's always the schoolhouse. Most of what's in there is junk, but there's this old safe that even Easy Pete wasn't able to crack with dynamite. If you want to take a shot at it, take these.
A magazine on
Too much
locksmiths?
for you to handle. Reading through the magazine might give you the edge you need.
Okay. And the bobby
You'll need those
pins.
to pick the lock. Be careful, though. Put too much pressure on them, and they'll snap.
Yeah, like all the rest of us, huh? Okay. I'll go take a look at that safe when I have the
Always have to help
chance.
someone down on their luck.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Well, what do you do around here,
I
Sonny?
hunt geckos mostly. The meat's pretty good, and I can always find a buyer for the hides. I also help keep the town clear of rat scorpions and coyotes. Not many people live in Good Springs, so wildlife is always creeping in.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the area around Good Springs.
What do you want to know?
What other kind of towns are nearby? Prim's to the south.
Southeast of here is Prim. Can't miss it. Since it has the giant old roller coaster right in the middle of town. The NCR's got an outpost there. If you follow the road north, you'll eventually hit Sloan and Quarry Junction. They mine rocks or something, but I heard they got troubles lately. I wouldn't head that direction if I were you, though. Got critters up there that don't take kindly to get shot.
Yeah, the NCR. Now, what kind of creatures are out
Around
there?
here, mostly coyotes and geckos. The coyotes are pretty dangerous in large packs, but otherwise they're nothing to really worry about. The geckos aren't too tough, but they've got a nasty bite. I've heard about bigger, nastier versions out in the wasteland, but I've never seen them. Stick to the roads when you can, and steer clear of the hills north of Good Springs. The critters up there are big and poisonous.
Big and poisonous, okay. I'm gonna kind of play dumb here. Yeah, what's the NCR? What do you know about them?
The new California Republic. Bunch of settlers and soldiers coming in from the west, fixing on making Nevada their own. They can be right pushy, but the roads are safer because of them, so I tend to let it go. Not that I got a choice.
Huh. Yeah, the NCR, like Easy Pete says, makes you one of them, even if you don't want to be. What does the NCR keep you safe from around here? I mean, if you're hunting the geckos and the coyotes, what else? Bandits? Raiders?
Well, the wildlife for one thing. Rowdy locals for another. They're protecting their own. Just happens to help us. They've been holding off this other group from the east, too.
Yeah. And what do you know about the other group?
Got a funny name. Call themselves Caesar's Legion. Never seen them in these parts, so I couldn't tell you much. I hear rumors, that's about it. Supposedly they keep slaves and they got some real nasty ways of killing folks. But maybe that's just something folks in the NCR cooked up to make themselves seem more useful here. Less uninvited.
Uninvited. Well, that's all I wanted to know. Let's talk about something else.
Anything else, just ask.
Yeah. Doc Mitchell actually said that you could teach me to survive in the desert.
I guess there's a thing or two I could show you. Sounds like you need all the help you can get after what they done to you. Meet me outside, behind the saloon.
Okay, will do. She's rough and tough, isn't she? Let's end back here. Oh. Better not go stealing anything. Dean Domino, the King of Swing, great orchestra. Danny Parker, Casino Ballroom. Ollie Din, company, magician and illusionist. Wilfred, he's a wizard, on stage in person. I can't read that. Lots of musicians. Hey, partner.
Doc Mitchell sure knows his stuff, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Howdy.
Howdy. Ladies, gentlemen. Oh, well, I guess gentlemen don't have much of a restroom anymore. We can all use one. Well, I think this is a fine place to go ahead and end the episode for today. Before we go out and get trained by Sunny Smiles. And that is going to be our introduction to Sam. He's a nice enough fella. Definitely proud of the NCR. But he's not stupid enough to wave it around before he reads the room. But that will be the end of this episode. If you enjoy the content and are excited to see where Sam goes from here, please consider giving us a follow here on twitch.tv/JeffTheNarrator469. Or, if you prefer to watch on YouTube, as we continue on with the series, we will, is that a revolver? We will continue to upload all the VODs as soon as they're done processing to a YouTube playlist organized for your viewing pleasure. But that is all she wrote. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
If you're looking for supplies, Chad over at the general store can help you out.
You sure can. Keep telling stories.